Even if it does end up being just a 2-week school closure, it's a big deal for students to be back learning from home. That includes the ripple effects for parents and teachers. How to make the best of this tough situation prompted once more by COVID-19. Let's get some insights from parent of two, Bobby Umar, who joins us tonight from Victoria, British Columbia. And in the provincial capital, also a parent of two, Kate Dupuis, and Alyson Schafer, author, parenting expert, and family counselor. Welcome to you all. And just before we start, in the interest of full disclosure, let me remind people that TVO is a provider of the province's distance and online learning through the ILC. The Independent Learning Centre has been a distance learning partner with the Ministry of Education for almost 100 years. So nice for all three of you to join us. We really do appreciate your time. We wanted to get an idea of how parents are, pivoting, our favorite word, to this new reality once again. And Allison, I'm going to spend a little bit of time with Kate and Bobby at the very top just to find out about their experiences. Then I'll bring you into the conversation. Kate, I wanted to start with you. So can you tell us about your life as a parent these last 2 years? What's it been like?
Well, I'm just laughing because it's definitely nothing I think any of us ever imagined. It's been a roller coaster for sure. Our focus as a family has always been on trying to keep things as normal and easy going for our kids as possible. My partner and I are very lucky. We're able to continue doing our jobs from home. We haven't lost out on income. But of course, the safety of our children and of our whole family has always been top of mind. And so this new pivot, although I would suggest we retire that word, please, when this is all done. This new pivot back to online learning was just one more unexpected.
Kate, how would you describe that emotion of how you're feeling with this going back to online learning?
I think for me personally, because I have spent a lot of time over the past 18 months really advocating for the government to make our schools safer, there's a feeling of frustration that, so many folks have been calling out different things we can do to ensure this didn't have to happen again. And then also just a lot of sorrow because my child last night after her first day of online learning was crying. I don't like COVID. I want to go back to school. I miss my friends. I want to see my friends. And as a parent, you're trying to do whatever you can to make your kids happy, to keep your kids safe. And it's really quite heartbreaking to see this happening to them again for a fourth time.
It's a really difficult situation because I have two small kids because you want them to be safe, but you also don't want them to be afraid of the world that is around them. How have you managed? Your children are 3 and 6 now. How have you managed?
Well, I don't know if the word is managed. I think we've sort of muddled through, our littlest guy, he was about 18 months when this all started, and he has never really known, normal birthday parties, normal play dates, all of that stuff. So for us as parents, I feel like there's been so much loss and so much sorrow around parenting right now. We do try and make things as fun as possible. We have virtual play dates. We were trying to do a lot of outdoor masked play dates with friends. It was amazing that schools were open from September to December because I felt that was really good for socialization. We currently have made the difficult decision to keep our 3-year-old home because there is no testing available for daycares anymore. We just don't think right now it's safe for us as a family for him to go back, considering he's completely unvaccinated. So he's lonely. He misses his friends.
And because your child is home, you also have to work. How has your job impacted by not only working from home, because I know that creates a lot of opportunities for families, but it's also creates another situation where you're juggling a lot.
We are juggling a lot. I think we're both very lucky that we have very understanding directors, but what it does mean is typically we're working after the kids go to bed. My husband is regularly working till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, because I often will have, for example, I'll be teaching and I can't stop that. I have to make sure that I'm providing education for my students. So he'll sort of take the brunt of parenting at that point. So we're trying to juggle. We're lucky we're a 2-parent household. We're able to do this. I know that a lot of folks don't necessarily have the same experience. But also for me, I worked very hard to get to where I was in my career, and it's pretty disappointing that I can't do my job the way I want to because I have kids in my house, right? I didn't choose to stay home with my children. I chose to be a working parent, and I would really like it if my kids could be in their schools and their daycares, and that these places of learning and places of socialization were made safe for them so that it could be possible for them to be back there.
We've heard a lot about a lot of women leaving the workforce to because of what's happening with the pandemic and needing childcare in Ontario. We still don't have a childcare deal with the federal government. When you say that you worry about your job, do you worry about where you could have been if we hadn't been in a pandemic?
Yes, absolutely. I worry about, what I would have been able to accomplish. I also worry about what we're doing to our kids and to the future of our workforce in Ontario. All of our kids right now, even if you don't have kids, you're going to rely on all of our kids because our kids will be the ones taking care of you, serving as all the professionals, all the essential workers in the future. And so I do worry a lot about, my own career, but I think the health and safety of all of us is also very important. I don't work on the front line, so I've been relatively safe, but a lot of my work was happening within retirement and long-term care homes, which of course have taken such a heavy brunt of this pandemic. So a lot of that, I must admit, a lot of what's happening in Ontario right now keeps me up at night.
Bobby, I wanted to bring you in on this. Kate says that a lot of what's happening in Ontario keeps her up at night. What has your life been as a parent these last 2 years?
Well, I mean, I would say that, I'm feeling tired and frustrated and angry. I mean, it was a really difficult time, the kids, with their technology addiction and managing our schedules. And, I can tell you between April and June of last year, it was the hardest time of our lives. It got really stressful. There's a lot, and the kids, there's some yelling. There was a lot of tears. I had to take my daughter on a father-daughter date to talk through some of the stuff because she was saying some really harsh things in her diary that she would tell her mother. And I remember one time I got so upset because I was feeling I was failing as a parent. And part of this whole problem too is it's just been a roller coaster. We keep going through the same thing over and over again, right? I mean, the government isn't transparent about information. They don't listen to science. They react too late, and then when we go to restrictions, they don't do enough support, and then they ease up on stuff early, and then they misdirect in terms of what's going on, and they don't do enough to protect schools and help educators, and so yeah, it's back and forth, and we know that we can avoid this, but they don't do it, and they don't do enough. They don't do it quickly enough, and so it's frustrating. And I think for me, like, I feel helpless. I mean, I'm advocating, I'm on Twitter, I'm talking to parents, we're putting stuff out there, but I just feel like this has been this has been avoidable, and I'd say, yeah, I'm angry and I'm feeling helpless, and it's hard because and the kids, they're missing out on stuff, and I think there's part of it. It's kind of like it's grieving. The kids are grieving missing their friends. They're grieving even things like my son is into musical theater, and it's a program from grade 3 to grade 8. And so these last 2 years, he was supposed to get lead roles, but he hasn't been able to perform or have fun doing that. So he's missing out on that, and he won't get it back. And so the kids, really struggle, particularly my daughter, who's super social and misses her friends like crazy.
You mentioned, this time we're not going to get back. Your kids right now are 11 and 13. I asked Kate the same question of how she managed, and she said it's not really managing. When you look back over this time, how have you managed?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a planner. I like to plan things, but I think it's hard for us to plan if the government can't plan, right? We're doing the best we can with the information we have, the time we've got to plan for our kids, but why can't the government do the same? Right? If they don't have a plan, the educators don't have a plan, and they scramble, and we all kind of wallow in uncertainty. So, I try to give the kids a schedule. I think the technology addiction was kind of difficult because the challenge is that there's different schedules for the kids. So the kids start school at different times, they have recess at different times, and lunch at different times. And then because of technology addiction, my wife and I are trying to get them off the laptops, trying to figure out a way, like, you can't stay on your laptops all the time. My son has been on laptops, and I track it at like 60 hours a week. So at one point, it got really, really bad. And so what happens is we can't get work done, and it's really distracting. I think during the worst part of it, I only got maybe 2 hours of work done per day. But so, I mean, the way to do it, we plan with schedules, but it's still super challenging, and to get the kids to do the things they want to do. And honestly, sometimes it's just chaos, and you just have to like let it go and say, you know what, this is a surreal time. What can we do? Fine, they're on their laptops 40 hours a week, and there's not as much as we can do.
I'm sensing from what you're saying about the lack of planning because as parents, a lot of what we do, we try to manage our lives and we manage our children's lives. Yeah, and then we have to work and do all those other things, many different shifts that we have. How has your job been impacted by having the kids learning from home?
First off, when the pandemic hit, my job was impacted because I'm a professional speaker and trainer. So when speaking events and training and online things, or sorry, conferences were canceled, my entire business was devastated by that. So I'm scrambling to try to recoup those losses, or to transition to doing other things and leveraging my skill set. So I think that was hard. The fact that we can't put as much time and energy into the day makes it even harder, because we're also trying to manage the household and do the dishes and all that kind of stuff, as well as trying to build my business back again. So I think, yeah, it's been very difficult. Particularly the first year, I think, was really hard. I mean, the second year, I've been able to transition more stuff, which has been good. And now we're just kind of in this like roller coaster yo-yo wait and see of when can we get back to some normalcy. But it's hard because you have less time and less energy, and even during online learning times, because it's just hard to get the kids up in the morning and get them to go to bed on time. And so by the end of it, my wife and I like get the kids to bed at maybe 10 o'clock, and then we just collapse on the couch for an hour before we go to bed. And so, yeah, we're all tired.
It's kind of suspicious how much energy kids have at the end of the day when it's time for bedtime, but I think that's a segment for another day. Allison, you've
Yeah.
been hearing to what Kate and Bobby have been saying. Do their stories sound similar to what you've been hearing from other parents?
Absolutely. And as a family counselor, and like Bobby, my speaking, a part of my career had to get shut down. And of course, the demand for counseling services went up. So I opened my doors to a lot more clients who are in need, a lot of families in distress. And the stories that I'm hearing from Kate and Bobby are very similar to the clients that are showing up in counseling practice. If you haven't had to deal with the minutia of online schooling, I don't think you really understand the Herculean ask that we're making of parents. Like, it is the nuanced pieces of all of this. It's three kids fighting for bandwidth, and even Kate trying to get online while her kids are doing online. We've had some tech issues, and I know that's probably because of bombarding the Wi-Fi at her house. Siblings walking around with cell phones while the other kids have their mics on, kids refusing to turn the cameras on, parents sitting over their kids' shoulders, curating the class, and these wonderful teachers who are trying their best are getting criticized, and the parents are giving the answers, and it's broken all these systems. And I think one of the takeaways is we can't take any more for granted how much the intersection and the codependency between the economic of our society interplays and requires that our education system work. And we've ignored our education system largely. In my humble opinion, it needed an overhaul in the first place. But now we really see that the two have to work in a cooperative fashion. And when one breaks, the other breaks. And I really, again, going to sort of some gender stereotypes here, not that wonderful fathers like Bobby haven't stepped up and we've done better at sharing of responsibilities and labor in the household. Mothers still tend to take the brunt of all of this. Not only do they tend to have the lower salary, so if they have to step away, their job gets put on hold, but they also manage the household in a managerial way. Again, not that you can't task your partner to do something, but we do tend to watch all the moving parts. So I found that moms in particular have really felt terribly discouraged about what they know they could be doing at work. As Kate was sort of saying, we like to be competent. We like to be good at what we do. That's what fills our bucket. And we know what our kids need. We're very educated now about what a 3-year-old needs attention. A 3-year-old needs to be played with. And if they're pulling on your pant leg and you can't address them because you're on a Zoom call, it feels horrible as a mother to have to shoo away a child. So there's a tremendous amount of emotionality that's coming up around, how this thing is all impacting us, our children, us, our family. We're fighting. So things seem to be crumbling. And it's been so very, very painful for people.
And of course, one size does not fit all because we all have kids in different ages and different stages of life, dealing with different issues for their age group. Allison, what are you hearing from parents of teens?
I'd say to your point, it's been a bit bimodal. I either have the parents who kind of had already some strong foundations in their family, their skills, their relationships. And a lot of them are saying some of the silver linings, like, oh, we all got to go to the cottage together and work remotely from the cottage. And, my husband usually works on the road and now suddenly he's home and we're having family dinners that we never had. And our kids are having an appreciation for our careers because they see what we're doing. And so there have been some silver linings, absolutely. But I would also say that we have seen, not just in my practice, but if we look at some of the stats coming out of things like Kids Help Phone, they had a 300% increase in users using their text helpline in the first month of the pandemic. That was the first month. You can imagine what it is now. I've been on panels with Sick Kids Hospital listening to their spike in services in their emergency ward, and even they were shocked at the severity of the presentation and how young the kids are that are coming in. So it has created a mental health crisis for our teens, and we have to really be sensitive to that. It's a unique developmental time. A pandemic is going to impact a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old different than a 13 and a 16-year-old. I had a great story of one family where, because they were out of school for 2 years, they went back and they bumped into someone in the hallway and they were like, "How did you know my name?" And they're like, "Who are you?" They had gone through puberty while they were at home. They went back to school and their friends didn't recognize them. They went from being a boy to a man during the pandemic. A lot changes in a short amount of time. And there's some important developmental milestones that need to happen in adolescence that those kids are missing out on.
Bobby, I noticed you wanted to say something.
No, I was just, as a parent of teens, I mean, I see how my kids react differently. So, I mean, my son, he's a total gamer. So one of the big challenges too is that he's trying to, grade 7 for him last year was basically Minecraft. And now I'm afraid that grade 8 is going to be Roblox. And that's going to be what he does, because he definitely checks out when it's online versus when he's in class. His grades are fantastic, but when he's online, they suffer and he doesn't learn as much. And so, I find that to be a bit of a challenge when I compare his situation versus my daughter's situation, where she wants to socialize, and so she's always just talking to her friends all the time and not even paying attention to school.
How do you manage that? Because my daughter, my 8-year-old, actually put me in my place. She said to me, "When you want me to be online, you're okay with me being on the computer. But when I want to play with my friends, you're not okay with that." So, Bobby, how do you manage that time on how much they spend online?
Well, the truth is we don't. I think it's a big challenge for us. I have been able to find something that worked for me. I found an app that actually helps me control the kids' computer time. So it's called Custodio, and I've invested some money into it. But it's actually good because now I can actually, during the day, turn off Roblox, YouTube, Netflix. They can't use them. They can only do the stuff that when they're on their school. So I think that's been good, and I think so that's been helpful. The second thing that's been helpful is my son definitely likes to have a schedule. He wants to know what's going on today, what do I have to do, what are my chores, and so having a schedule that I print out and put in front of them in their bedroom and by their station, I works really well too.
Kate, I wanted to ask you too, because when I initially had my kids, our pediatrician was saying, limit the screen time, limit the screen time. Your kids are fairly young, and now one of them having to learn online. Is that something that you worry about?
Oh, it absolutely is. I feel like a lot of my friends and I have had this conversation. That was, one of the number one things we were told: no screen time whatsoever before 2. And after that, it must be managed. And not only that, but it's screen time that is supervised. I don't know about a lot of working parents, but a lot of the time when my daughter is on school, she's in her room on her laptop. I mean, I think she's still young enough. I don't think she's off doing other things. She hasn't yet experienced Roblox or these types of programs, but she's staring at a screen all day. And she, for us as well, I'm trying to schedule things so that I can take a break when it's her longer recess time. But if I can't, then oftentimes she goes on the iPad to watch Netflix. So I'm pretty concerned about this. I haven't heard about a lot of pediatricians or pediatric associations speaking out about what this could potentially be doing to our kids. Kids are not meant to learn on a screen. Kids are meant to learn in a collaborative, interactive environment. They're meant to be playing. They're not meant to be sitting. And, again, I echo sort of what Bobby said, that there's just so little planning we can do, and there's just so much frustration, because none of this, I think, was inevitable. When this happened the first time in March 2020, of course, it was an emergency situation. We had no idea what to do. Everyone, stayed safe, stay home. We pitched in, we're all in this together. Now in January 2022, it really feels like our kids have been abandoned. Our kids and working families, especially families like mine, where my youngest child isn't eligible for vaccination yet. It just seems like we're sort of an afterthought to the government. We're an afterthought to a lot of the planning, and even the way this was all done, at least here in Ontario, where a few days ago we heard there was going to be school, and then all of a sudden there isn't school. I'm on the parent council at my child's school, and a lot of the conversation the last few days has been about getting tech to families. There's an assumption that all families will just have an extra laptop or iPad sitting around. That's not true. Maybe if we'd known in December that this was happening, we could have sourced different tech opportunities. A lot of our Chromebooks don't have charging cables. So where do you get a charging cable from now? They're all back ordered. It's just the lack of planning is difficult, and the sense for me, at least, that our kids are not a priority, and that our kids have really been just kind of pushed aside, and they'll just go back to online learning. Families will cope again. It's just really discouraging, honestly.
Allison, you've been hearing both Bobby and Kate talk about the screen time, the amount of screen time that kids are spending online right now. I think a lot of people understood that of March 2020 because, as Kate mentioned, it was an emergency. But 2 years in, we're year 3 of the pandemic. Should parents be worried about the amount of screen time that their kids are being exposed to now?
Yes, I would. This is a universal problem, I would say. And in the beginning, parents were sort of, look at this is the Wild West. We got to do what we got to do. And we sort of took this short-term idea that we would open up the limits that we previously had because they did need to do online schooling. They couldn't see their friends or do their extracurriculars. And we had to get our jobs done. So we kind of let loose on the boundaries. And then as things have gone on, parents are starting to say, look, at the long-term solution cannot be the same as the short-term solution. If this is going to keep pounding on, we really have to look at this again. And their quandary is, how do you pull the boundaries back in when they've been out and loose and flapping? Because kids don't like to have things taken away from them that they've already had. How do you say your bedtime used to be 11 and now it's 9? They don't like when it goes in the reverse order. But parents are seeing that it is now cumulatively and over the long amount of time, too much time. And I would just say, just know you're not alone. And that if you're going to be changing any kind of rules in the family, whatever it is, any kind of reset, change of existing policies in the family, you really have to do it with the children's input and to be listened. Actually, quite interestingly, as I was listening to Kate and Bobby talk, I thought, can you hear how parents really wanted to be listened to in this pandemic? No one's listening to them. They need to know they're important. They need to know they have a voice. They need to feel empowered. They need to know people are caring. And that's very much what children feel like in our family. So we need to get their voice in the conversation about, I want you to have roadblocks. I want you to be able to text and do TikTok dances with your friends. But I also am responsible for making sure that we make it through this pandemic with mental health. And that means balance. So let's put our heads together to figure out what would be that good planning schedule, like Bobby said, where we have time to do all the other things that we need to make a mentally healthy, balanced 24-hour day. Are we getting outside? Are we spending time with our studies? Do we have offline hobbies, not just online hobbies? And just work with them to kind of come up with a kind of strategy that works for everyone, and then be consistent with enforcing it. I know we're tired, but I really think it's the way forward with that.
Okay, we've got about 45 seconds, and I wanted to ask Kate and Bobby this question. Looking forward, if you had one wish right now on how things might unfold as it pertains to online schooling, what would it be? Bobby, I'll start with you, and you've got 15 seconds.
I'd love to see them have a plan from the government that allows them to be more interactive and get the kids to be more creative, and maybe even add some physical activity. Let's get up and do some jumping jacks, because they just sit there and they disengage, and I think the kids feel disengaged too.
And Kate, for you?
I wish that virtual learning would end, and that our schools would reopen. That's really one, my wish, that our schools would be safe and our kids can go back.
And 10 seconds for you, Allison. What would you say to parents who are trying to manage all these expectations in terms of balancing work and parenting?
This is a time for self compassion, to lower your expectations, to perhaps have faith in the fact that our kids really are resilient and that we might be mourning some losses, but really it's more like delays. They're going to catch up on some of these experiences. And this is sort of the grit building piece. It's not nice when you're in it, but they will come out the other end of it. So we got to lead with positivity ourselves.
Thank you so much to the three of you, and Kate and Bobby for sharing your stories as parents, and Allison for giving us this expert advice. I think a lot of us need to hear it right now. Thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is made possible through generous philanthropic contributions from viewers like you. Thank you for supporting TVO's journalism.